it isn't true, a lot of people think it is. I remember seeing one in early fall that President Obama had outlawed the Pledge of Allegiance, and I had people texting me about it, and I knew that wasn't true. We're going to do in this report is tell the American people how this happened so we're prepared for the next time. And what it begins, I think, by outlining what their goals were, what they tried to do in this regard. And we know what they tried to do because they've done it in other countries around the world for an extensive period of time. The first is undermine the credibility of the electoral process. To be able to say that's not a real democracy, it's filled with all kinds of problems. The second is to undermine the credibility of our leaders, including the person who may win. They want that person to go into office hobbled by scandal and all sorts of questions about them. And the third, ideally in their minds, I imagine, is to be able to control the outcome in some specific instance. If they think they could, either through public messaging or even in the worst case scenario by actually being able to manipulate the vote, which I know has now been repeatedly testified did not happen here. And by the way, these are not mutually exclusive. You can do all three. You can only take one. They all work in conjunction. I think you could argue that they've achieved quite a bit if you think about the amount of time that we have been consumed in this country on this important topic and the political fissures that it's developed. And the way I always kind of point to it, and if anyone disagrees, I want you to tell me this, but we have something in American politics that's legitimate. Both sides do it. It's called opposition research. You find out about your opponent. Hopefully it's embarrassing or disqualifying information if you're the opposition research person. You package it, you leak it to a media outlet, they report it, you run ads on it.
So where is Marco Rubio at? Where is this Mapache at? Because the media isn't asking him about Obama, and if Obama set this up as some type of coup to get rid of Donald Trump. Marco Rubio knows this all is a bold-faced lie coming from Tulsi Gabbard, Donald Trump, and whomever else is involved in this. This is simply a distraction from Trump and the Jeffrey Epstein file and list. Like I said, I've been saying for weeks now that Trump is on the Epstein list. He's on the flight manifest. Yeah, I believe he actually, and this is just my belief, is that Trump did sleep with underage girls. It's just how I feel about the situation here. But Marco Rubio, he knows that Obama had nothing to do with what Tulsi Gabbard is laying claim to, but nobody is interviewing Marco Rubio. Either that or have Marco Rubio hidden somewhere so he can do an interview. But Marco Rubio said in this hearing right here that it was all Russia. It had nothing to do with Obama or Hillary Clinton or anyone else. So anyway, guys, man, like I said, man, it's despicable how these Peckerwoods think, man. Instead of just putting the Epstein files out, they want to deflect and try to say that President Obama, had some type of nefarious reasons or that he went out and did wrongdoing to try to stop Trump from becoming president. It's all bullshit. Anyway, guys, thank you all for coming back to the Black Only News and Entertainment Network. Peace, take care, and be safe.
Foreign government could have potentially gotten into the computer system is enough to create the specter of a losing candidate arguing the election was rigged. The election was rigged. And because most Americans, including myself, don't fully understand all the technology that surrounds voting systems per se, you give that election is rigged kind of narrative to a troll and a fake news site, and that stuff starts to spread, and before you know it, you have the specter of a political leader in America being sworn in under the cloud of whether or not the election was stolen because vote tallies were actually changed.